Hey guys, Jasper here from the Uberclockers, and welcome to our 1080p budget gaming rig for $550. So for $550, you're going to be playing all your favorite games at all your favorite settings, unless your favorite settings are like, you know, everything maxed out and getting 60 FPS, which on everything maxed out, it might not get 60 FPS, but most likely it will be playable. And most games out today, this will be able to play those games at very high settings with very playable frame rates. Why don't we get right into the video? And yeah. Okay, so before I say the name of this processor, please don't scream and cry and run away screaming, "Oh my god, it's dual core. Can't run my Crisis. Can it run Crisis? I don't know." Ah! Because the Core i3 4170 is a dual core processor, and it's $126 as a solid processor. It's dual core, but it's kind of quad core at the same time. So it's got hyper-threading, so it's got 2 cores and 4 threads. 2 physical cores, so there's 2 cores like on the chip, but 4 threads, which means it's got hyper-threading, which adds 2 kind of virtual cores. Whoa, virtual cores! Ah, yeah, I know, right? Science, yeah. Anyway, it adds 2 virtual cores, so it basically functions as a quad-core processor. So any task that requires a quad-core processor, this basically will be able to do it. It just won't do it as well as, say, a quad-core processor. So if you really want to, have a quad-core processor or a 8-core processor or a 16-core processor, I don't know about those, but if you want kind of a quad-core processor, you could go with the i3 4160. What am I talking about? That's still an i3. I mean the i5 4460 or 4430, which are both quad-core processors. They're both i5s. Or on the high end, you could go with the i7 4790, which is the non-K version of the 4790K, which is a beast of a processor. But the 4460 and the 4430 will still let you kind of stay in maybe the $600 range because they're about $60 more expensive than the $127 i3. So you could do that. That's always an option. But for this rig, I'm sticking with the i3 just because in terms of gaming, this will perform great. You don't really need that extra power for gaming because games aren't really CPU intensive these days. They aren't really that CPU intensive. Anyway, let's move on to the motherboard. Okay, so for the motherboard, we have the ASRock H97 Performance! LGA ATX Performance H97. Okay, it is the ASRock H97 Performance ATX LGA 1150 motherboard. It's a performance! No, it's honestly, if you're going to call a motherboard performance, make it Z170 or Z97 because, overclocking performance, those two kind of go together, but locked in performance, not really, but I mean, you can still have a great performing chip that's not overclockable like my 4690. So, yeah, that's the motherboard. It's 80 bucks. Really enough said. All right, so let's move on to the most exciting part. The RAM sticks. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the most exciting part. Most exciting part comes, a little later, but this is 2 4 gig sticks, so 8 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance DDR3 1600 memory. It's 1600 megahertz. It's, 8 gigs of memory. It's really all you need. And it's $42. So that's a great price for memory. 1600 megahertz, 8 gigabytes of memory. And this will suit you fine if you're going to just be doing gaming. So gaming really doesn't require more than 8 gigs of memory. So this will be fine. It's around $40. Enough said, really. I say enough said a lot in this video. This is weird. Anyway, let's move on to the storage. So for the storage, we have the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 3.5-inch 7200 RPM internal hard drive. It's $52.99 at the moment, and the price kind of switches between like under $50 and over $50. So when you're watching this, it could be under $50 or it could be over $50, or hard drive prices could be like plummeting because SSDs are suddenly awesome and actually practical. But I use this in my rig. It's actually the only storage I have in my rig, and it works fine. It boots up Windows 10 pretty quickly for a hard drive, and I just love this hard drive. 1 TB of storage, you can store your Steam library on this, unless your Steam library is like 3 TB. But anyone who has a 3 TB Steam library is not me. Anyway, let's move on to the video card, which is actually the most exciting part. So the video card for this build, this rig, is the PowerColor Radeon R9 380 4GB PCS Plus video card. If you're trying to keep the price down, you could probably go for, say, the 270 or the 370 or something. But this build is $550, and the 380 is a very capable card at 1080p. I was actually considering this card, the 380, when I was making my rig, but I decided on the 390 just because I could. So this is a great card for the price. It's $188, $189, and 4 GB of video memory is basically enough for anything these days. So this is a solid card for less than $200, and really that's great. Yay! Okay, so for the case, we have a $25 case. I actually found this on Newegg for $25. It's the Cooler Master Elite 430 ATX mid-tower case. It's a $25 case, and really, the case isn't that important while building a gaming rig. So if you can find a $25 case, just use it. I mean, seriously, that's one way to keep costs down. Yeah, it's $25. Alright, so for our power supply, we have the Corsair CX 500W 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. It's semi-modular, which will help with cable management. And for $35, a 500W bronze power supply, this is a great power supply. Well, I mean, I don't use it, but for the price, I would say this is kind of it's weird saying a bang for the buck power supply, but that's what it is. So really enough said about the power supply. Nothing really remarkable, but it's cheap and it'll work. Alright, well thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And please remember to like and subscribe. If you have a gaming rig that you'd like us to critique, please just post it in the comments. Unless you're Jukebox 300 and you post, like, I have NVIDIA fried chickens. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.